Alright, everybody. So, yesterday, I Am Groot came out, and they're very short. You know, the Disney Plus says they're 5 minutes, but like 2 minutes of that is credits. So it's like they're very short. So it's like I don't want to make reviews for them, so I decided I'm just gonna make like a ranking video. That way, you know. Did you see my stomach grow? I haven't eaten breakfast yet. That way, you know, which ones I like better and not. But number 5 was Groots Pursuit. And I've seen some other people talk a lot about this one. Like, this one was hilarious with the dance off and everything. I thought the dance off was kind of stupid. It's like, I get it, because Star-Lord did the dance off. It's kind of a Guardians thing, but like, I don't know. The best part about that one was, you know, the airlock at the end. That dark turn of him just sitting him out the airlock. That was funny. And I Am Groot at the very end. That was a very great ending. Or even the first time that he charges into the restroom, was like, I'm Groot, was really funny. Just so aggressive. Such an aggressive little guy, which is shown in pretty much every episode. Yeah, so on to number 4. Number 4 would be the one where he takes a bath. Groot takes a bath. This one's funny as well. This one feels like one of the shortest ones, because like all he does is he puts the mud stuff on, his different designs that he's doing, and then there's just the very end. But my favorite one that he did was the mustache. When he went, I was like, oh yeah. And he's like, oh man, so funny. And then this one also takes a darkish turn at the end, where he skins the squirrel bird and uses it for a scarf. I was like, at first I thought he killed him when he just like, you know, wearing it. I was like, whoa, but he just kind of skinned him. Aggressive. Number 3 would be the one that's called like Magnum Opus or something like that. And this one, pretty much the only like good part of this one, like funniest stuff, is the rocket stuff, because Bradley Cooper comes back as Rocket. But everything leading up to then, it's just kind of like, what's going on? What's he doing? The soap thing is pretty funny. And he's got some clever stuff in there, you know, like using Star-Lord's boot for like welding, or just like the way he like uses the duct tape, he like throws it. Number 2 would be Groot's First Steps. This one I liked a lot. This one felt like a Pixar short or something. Like, I don't know, like the way it was like a small plant who's he's used to being nurtured and all this, and then a new plant comes in and they move the old plant back. Like, I don't know, so much of that felt like this feels like a Pixar short with an aggressive tone as well, because he's trying to illuminate the other plant, all from being in a pot. But then he eventually breaks out of the pot, gets his legs, and tries to stand up and just like face plants, which is hilarious. And then once he starts running, and then you're like, oh no, this thing's gonna mean to be a terror. That's where Baby Groot was born, and not Twig Groot. And man, he then goes over to the other plant, which he knocks down, which is like, you know, potting mix and base everywhere. And he's like, ha! Like, that's like the Luigi from Smash Brothers 2 point. And then he realizes that, well, I'm free now, and this plant's not. So he puts it back in the vase and like puts the blanket around it and just sits there with it. It's like, see, this is kind of sweet. But number 1 is the funniest one to me. Is the little guy. And this one's funny because it's like he builds this castle out of wood, and some like bird-like creature comes and decides that he wants it to be the nest. And he's bigger than Groot because he's Baby Groot. So he kind of bullies him out of that, and Groot gets mad and he starts screaming. And I thought it was so funny, just the way his tantrum was so funny. And then it said 37 minutes later. And then he was still throwing a tantrum. And that's the hardest I laughed out of all of them. That was so funny, just the way he's shaking and screaming. It's like 37 minutes later, which is already like a random number, but it's just like, that's so long. But then, he finds the village of all the little people, and he says, I'm Groot, and because they're so tiny, so they start to attack him. But he's happy because he's like, I am Groot, which I think means, like, I'm bigger. I'm not small. So he's like super happy. He starts playing around with them, and then they get more defensive, and then he poops out the leaf, which is in the trailer. They like leaves, so he goes to grab like a bunch of leaves off a tree, and he's like charging back. He's so happy. He's like, I'm gonna be their savior, And then he goes, oh, and you look down, and he like stepped on the whole village. It's like, oh my gosh, that's the dark turn. Very funny though. I laughed pretty hard. So then he just kind of covers it up with rock and leaves. They were still alive due to the little after title scene. So that's good. They weren't actually dead. But that's my ranking, my personal ranking. I personally thought it was like a little weird, just the way they're like divided on Disney Plus, and just like how short they are. I feel like they should just be like played in front of Marvel movies at theaters, or they should be like on the Blu-ray. It just seems like a weird thing to really hype up. Like, here's I Am Groot, and then it's literally like, I don't know, 14, 15 minutes of content. I don't know, it's just kind of weird. Let me know what y'all thought about I Am Groot in the comment section below. Leave a like, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.